New intro. So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. A pilot program in New York City will install public health vending machines, or PHVMs, which will dispense products like naloxone and clean needles in an effort to help those who are disproportionately burdened by overdose. In December, the Fund for Public Health in New York, a nonprofit organization, opened a request for proposals into installing 10 PHVMs in select New York locations. The proposal states that the endeavor is expected to have a price tag of up to $730,000, which taxpayers will have to foot the bill. Quote, racial equity does not mean simply treating everyone equally, but rather allocating resources and services in such a way that explicitly addresses barriers imposed by structural racism, i.e. politics, and institutionalized practices that perpetuate racial inequity, and white privilege, i.e. historical and contemporary advantages in access to resources and opportunities afforded to white people, so that all people have access to what they need to enjoy full, healthy lives. The machine will dispense harm reduction and wellness supplies, such as sterile syringes and anti-overdose drugs, naloxone, which is commonly branded as Narcan. According to the data from the New York Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, over 2,000 people died from accidental overdose in New York City in 2020. A study from the National Center of Health Statistics, combined with data from the Centers of Disease and Control and Prevention, showed that more than 1 million people have died in America from overdose since 1999. Quote, Black and Latino residents in neighborhoods with the highest rates of poverty, including South Bronx and East Harlem, reported the most overdose deaths in 2020. South Bronx and East Harlem are two locations that the proposal states machines will be installed. Brooklyn and Union Square will also potentially get machines as well. New York City's health department, along with Mayor de Blasio, announced in November the city would open up its first legal heroin injection site in America, called Overdose Prevention Center, or OPC. Like I told people before, and some people thought I was, making up a story and all these other types of things on the previous channel. Like I said, they opened up an area before. It was the first in America where drug users were able to legally go into these areas and they could use the top of the top narcotics, some of the most illegal, some of the ones that would put them away for life. And they would use these in front of the eyes of police and doctors. They would fall out, you know, do what they do, and then they would just walk out and have their day. Like I said, and people thought that it was a game. And when I was sitting up there telling them what they were doing for their own people, like I said before, don't sit up there and get it twisted. Just because they listed black and brown people in there, let's just deal with the fact that, for number one, black people are not the overwhelming right majority when it comes to the United States um, of America. We're just not, right? And 9 times out of 10, black people are not the main ones sitting up here ODing. We're not. We're not. Let's just be honest. Look at a lot of the celebrities who have literally been gone because of narcotics that they should not have been taken at all. And you will see the face, start to become way more clear than what it is at this moment in time. And then also take into effect that New York is going through gentrification. So yeah, they can sit up there and say like, yeah, black and brown people are, you know, at a disadvantage and all these other great things and yada yada yada. But realistically, you're doing it because your people are moving in. So because your people are moving in, now you're actually caring, right, about some of those who are in those communities actually suffering and losing loved ones over this, right? Like I said, they don't want to just be honest. The world would, in a sense, be a better place if everything was just honest. It would be a lot better off. But like I said before, that's just in my opinion, because realistically, we know that the greater majority of the world cannot take honesty. This is why a lot of people just like being lied to. This is why people like watching, certain types of news on television. This is why people like only taking in small little bits of information. They don't want to sit up there and look at the whole scope of, everything and try to get a full-fledged understanding. And even if they have questions, try to use critical thinking in order to bypass, and get through a lot of the questions that they might have by doing their own due diligence and their own research. Like I said before, there's a multitude of things um, that can circumvent a lot of issues and problems, but maybe not in this time frame, not in this timeline at all, at all, because realistically, human beings just are not ready. So here we are. You have the media telling you that, overwhelmingly, right, in New York, black and brown people are the main ones suffering from ODing, and they're the only ones. They're literally the only ones. Nobody else. No other community out there in New York City, right, which has a higher population. No other community out there is suffering from this like black and brown people. I've heard this tale before. I've heard this tale before. But like I said before, you got to also understand something that they're trying to do as well. They're going to put these in areas that they already don't really want to deal with. So therefore, if they put these medical areas, right, for all intents and purposes, if they put these medical areas in the black and brown areas, right, then that means that all of those drug users across New York are going to come to those areas in order to get their fix, right? Which means that those drug users are going to start to populate those areas more, and they're going to leave all the other areas that they're normally at. Like I said before, this is how they cause a certain type of migration to basically take place. And this is how they're going to, over time, just give it a few years, you'll start to hear them talk about, oh, there's been a spike in drug use. There's been a spike in, oh, dang, there's been a spike in this. There's been a spike in that. Yeah, it's a spike because you force people to migrate from one area to another area because you didn't want to open up these centers where all of these people were located. So you decided to make quote unquote black and brown areas ground zero for all intents and purposes. And then you're just going to sit back and wait. Like I said, people don't understand what's taking place. And that's another way that they sit up there and cause gentrification to happen, because that's going to further cause issues. That's going to further bring down the property value and everything else like that. And that's going to further have other individuals want to sit up there and move out, right? That's coaxing them to, move out, or coercing them to move out, right? They're not twisting their hand, they're not forcing them, but they're putting certain elements there that's a little bit unsettling, right? Where people are like, you know what? I'm looking at the area. I don't really, it's not looking the same no more. I don't really think I want to be here. There's different individuals here now, right? I think I'm going to uproot and move somewhere else, right? Forcing those people to then try to move somewhere else where later on in a few years they're going to end up getting priced out, forcing them to, in a sense, move somewhere else or to try to move back from whence they came. But if they try to move back there some years later, then they're going to find out that, hey, they didn't clean everything up and now you can't afford to live here. Like I said, people better pay attention. People better pay attention. But, like I said, everybody knows best. Everybody knows better. You can't really sit up there and tell people nothing. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.